we're going to take the lens of Bible truth. Everybody do this. That's the lens of Bible truth, okay? We're going to see our lives through this lens right here, okay? So if you ever come talk to me about something and I start going like this, that's going to mean that I need you to start thinking about this the way the Bible says to think about it, okay? Okay, so I just want to see everybody around say Abraham doing this now, okay? So, but we're going to take and see our lives through the lens of Bible truth. And by the power of the Spirit, we will adjust ourselves to live more Bible-centered, more God-centered lives. Now, in the interest of the fact that this is Youth and Young Adult Sunday, I'd like to commend all of the parents in the room for the love and effort and pain and stress and care and concern that you put into raising your children. I can say that it is evident that you love your children and are giving them your all. Young people, give your parents a big St. Abraham kiss. All right. So just by way of mention, I just want to offer you a tool that lots of parents, including my own, have found useful in holding their children responsible for you. Holding their children responsible for hearing the message, engaging their spiritual understanding. And it's simply to make a habit of asking your child 3 questions. And some of you may already do this. 1, what did you learn from the message today? 2, what does that mean? And 3, how do you think God expects you to apply that in your life? And then you write down, or have them write down, the answer to the 3rd question. And I'll say it again. 1, what did you learn from the message today? 2, what does that mean? And 3, how do you think God expects you to apply that in your life? Yes, sir. Yes. And like I said, have them write down the answer to that 3rd question and hold on to it. Then periodically, you pull out the answers from the past and ask them how they make it up with it. Okay? It's just a simple accountability tool. Now, I'm not capable of speaking as a parent, but I can speak as someone who was recently a teenager. Well, maybe not that recently no more. But in my own mind, I am. You see, I do have acquired some wisdom over the year, and I do know that teenagers and children need the help of their parents to live their lives according to the Bible. And it takes lots of checking in to see how they're doing to keep them honest. And even if they act disinterested, they will appreciate the fact that you cared enough to ask. Well, at least they will later on. But I just wanted to offer that up, and hopefully it'll be useful to someone. And young people, now that you know your parents might ask you these questions, you have another reason to listen to me. So, if you never heard me speak before, I have a basic format that I follow. First, I do an introduction that no matter how hard I try and what I do, always ends up being too long. But, lucky for you, we just finished that part. Then, I try to give some stories that highlight the point of the text and of the sermon. Then we go to the scriptures, and we paint with broad strokes the text that leads up to our verse of emphasis. And painting with broad strokes just means that we cover a lot of text quickly without taking a lot of time to deal with the details. And then we get to the verse of emphasis, and we use a very detailed brush to help us see all that is there. And then we wrap it up, and we bring it home. I'm just telling you all of that so it'll be a little easier for you to follow. So now, I know this is highly unusual, but everybody stand up for a second. Now, I've been up here talking for about 15 minutes. So I want you to take 15 seconds and stretch. Okay? You can get out that yawn that you was holding in because you didn't want me to think you was rude. Which I wouldn't. But go ahead and get it out now. I want you to be refreshed because we get ready to go to work, okay? Alright, everybody, take your seats. So now I want you to know that I know it's tough to listen to somebody talk for a while. I know that. So I'm not trying to waste any words or any time. I just want to get through it as quickly as possible, but I also want to make sure that you can understand. So if you bear with me, we'll get through this, and these scriptures can have a major impact on all of our lives. Now, since I've already told one story today, I'll just tell one more. And we'll try to make it relevant to the whole church. Picture, if you will, a man with 3 sons. All of them are extremely gifted, talented, strong, and extremely good looking. One day the father calls his sons together and says to them, "My sons, I have a task for you. I'm getting older now, and before I die, I want to see how well I've trained my sons. I'm giving each of you exactly $5. I want you to take that $5 and turn it into a food source that will continue to support our family for generations. If you are successful, it will bring me much honor the rest of my days and as long as this family survives. If you are not successful, it will be to my shame, because I have raised sons incapable of providing for the future of this family." So immediately all 3 sons set out to make their father proud. Being loving brothers, they decided the best way to complete their task was to help one another with their gifts as much as possible. They all agreed that the best thing for them to do would be to turn their $5 into an amount that they could actually use, because what can you buy with $5? So they agreed that they would continue in this first venture together until each of them had the money that was necessary for them to branch out on their own. So they started the Los Hermanos Company. They took the $5 their father had given them, put it together so that it was $15, and purchased 1 box of candy. They quickly sold that box and ended up with $45. They immediately reinvested to purchase 3 boxes for a turn around of a 200% profit, or $135 total. They quickly realized that they could expand to soft drinks and beverages. And so they did, reaping profits of 800%, and quickly growing the original $5 investment given to them by their father. Soon they exceeded $1,000 and were so proud that they went to tell their dad. And their father was delighted to hear the report and see that they were working together to build something. But he said to them, "That's great, but don't forget, I charge you to provide food for this family for generations, not to build a company." And they didn't forget. After reaching the $3,000 mark, they dissolved the Los Hermanos Company and took their share of the money and went their separate ways. The youngest son, being an artist, realized that he could make his money go further if he invested in his talent and became a barber. So he did. He purchased several professional grade trimmers and clippers for about $500. Gave $100 to his older brother, whose skill was in business organization, to market him as a barber. Saved $200 and invested another $200 to buy 4 chickens, thus beginning to fulfill his father's dreams. The middle son, a talented musician, spent $500 to purchase a new keyboard. He saved $250. Gave his older brother $150 to begin to market him as a commercial writer, and purchased $100 worth of various seeds for vegetables, also fulfilling his father's wishes. Now the oldest son found that his greatest skill was to take money and to turn it into more money. After all, he engineered the plan that turned $15 into $3,000. So he began a series of successful investments, first with cars purchased at an auction, doubling his investment each time, and then flipping homes, each time tripling his investment, until he quickly reached over $250,000 in the bank. He thought about his father's wish and said, "Well, I've made so much money, I can buy anything this family will need for years to come." And he continued to be very successful, as did his brothers, although they didn't make the kind of money that he made.